Okay, Charlie Huff out there taking his warm-up pitches as we get ready to get this ball game underway. Charlie there's the book on him right there, 16 complete games. He is tied for first in complete games. 35 starts, rates him third in the American League. Innings pitched, he's fourth. In strikeouts, he is fifth. And he is going for his 17th win today. You know, you were giving me a rip there. Oh, wait a minute. Say the nice things you said about Jim Birdsong again.
Yeah,
well, your mic was dead.
Well, in the last 12 years, Jim Birdsong has really provided a fine service to the Texas Rangers and, of course, their radio broadcast crew. And it's a shame to see Jim retire, but I know he has enjoyed the 12 years, and I know that everybody that's worked with him and have been around Jim Birdsong has felt that a very, very nice man is going to retire from the Ranger organization.
So our very best to Jim Birdsong. Here is Rob Wilfong leading off. And he goes after the first pitch. And he is thrown out quickly by Donnie Scott at first base. One away. Give you another look at that.
Wilfong figuring it would be easier to bunt the ball and get on than it would be to swing at that flutter ball. So that time unsuccessful.
So Donnie Scott gets an assist, and the putout goes to O'Brien, and up comes Darryl Sconyers, the first baseman for the Angels. 4 home runs, 17 RBIs, hitting at .250. Sconyers 2 for 5 in the series with a run batted in. 2 for 6 make it. And a ball inside. 2 balls and no strikes. One out and nobody on in the top of the first inning. Fastball didn't miss by much.
I don't know why not.
Bobby Canop is coaching at first base for the Angels, and Preston Gomez is at third. Strike, 3-1. The infield is overshifted on Sconyers, well around to the right. And the outfield to the right. Playing him as a dead pull hitter. He's got that open stance, and he takes a strike of the knees. 3-2. Charlie Huff, born in Honolulu, does not play the ukulele very well. Strike 3. So Sconyers is gone after Huff fell behind 3-0. He comes back to strike him out, and there are 2 down for the Angels.
Charlie throwing that fastball by him. Darryl Sconyers probably looking for the knuckleball, I would assume, on 3-2, but Charlie came back with a riser.
Yeah, he put a little extra on it.
Yeah.
Gave it his best shot. Here's Freddie Lynn at 23 homers, 79 RBIs, and 0 for 5 in the series. And a ball outside. Charlie really put some mustard on that last pitch, that strikeout pitch. Got it up there about 69 miles an hour. There's 71. Strike, and it's 1-1. He wouldn't mind us needling him about that. Charlie in his 36th start of the year. Durable, you betcha. Bouncer to the right side. Fielded by Tollison, and he gets him at first, and it's an easy inning for Charlie Huff. 1-2-3 go the Angels. Now the Rangers will come to bat in their half of the first inning, and Mickey Rivers will lead off, and we'll have the rest of the batting order for you when we come back after this on HSE. The Rangers come to bat at the bottom of the first inning, sending this batting order against Mike Witt. Mickey Rivers DHing and playing where? In the dugout today. Tollison at second base, Ward in left field, Parrish at third, Buddy Bell out of the lineup again, Pete O'Brien at first, and George Wright in center. Tommy Dunbar gets the call in right field. And behind the plate is Donnie Scott, Curtis Wilkerson at shortstop, and Charlie Huff breezed through the first inning. The Angels, defensively, will have Darryl Sconyers at first base, Rob Wilfong at second. The third baseman is Doug DeSensei, and the shortstop is Dick Schofield. In left field, Brian Downing, Fred Lynn in center, and the right fielder is Mike Brown. The catcher, Bob Boone, and Mike Witt is on the mound.
Yeah, big Mike Witt is making his 34th appearance and start of the season. He won his past 2 decisions. However, last time out in the big game against Kansas City, he was not involved in the decision of that 6-5 loss back on the 26th of September. against the Rangers. He is 1-0 this year and 2-2 lifetime. His lone outing of the season was on June 27th right here, and he was a 2-1 winner. Went 8 1/3 innings in that ball game. So Mike Witt, 237 innings of work and 84 walks, along with his 186 strikeouts.
Mickey Rivers, 1 out of 4 in the series, hitting at .303 for the year. Mick goes after the first pitch and he missed it. Witt is only 24 years old. He's 6'7", about 185, a real string bean. Fly ball foul down the left field line, and it's no balls, 2 strikes.
You've already seen how hard he throws. He gets the ball to the plate in a big hurry. You'll look at his positioning third in the American League strikeout race, but he probably has the best curveball, one of the best curveballs. The man right behind him in strikeouts, Bert Blyleven, I still think has the best curveball, but one of the best curveballs in baseball.
Pretty good heat there. Rivers gone on strikes on 3 pitches.
Number 3.
So Witt knocks off Rivers and now takes on Wayne Tollison. One out, nobody on. Tolly after the first pitch, fly ball to left, caught by Downing. And quickly there are 2 down.
Number 32.
That'll bring Gary Ward to the plate.
Ward.
Wardo hitting a .285, 21 home runs and 79 runs batted in. No score at the bottom of the first inning. That's a strike around the knees. Here's it. What? What? Would you repeat that? Can you be more specific? Greg Kosk says, yep, I can be more specific. I've got a 4:30 flight. Here's a ball. Here's a ball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rich Donnelly coaching at first, and Wayne Terwilliger at third. Just kidding, Greg.
No, you're not. You're serious about that.
And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That's a valid reason. I'll go along with it.
You know, there's some great stories about last games of the season and trying to get the ball game over in a hurry. And here's the 1-2 pitch, low outside a ball. I think one of my all-time favorites was one that Lou Boudreau pulled on a guy named Elmer Vallow. How many of you remember him? This is what Gary Ward has done in the last 57 ball games. We'll hold up on the storytelling until we show you what Ward has done. 14 homers. Boy, what a second half he has had. Check swing, get an appeal. First base umpire Ted Hendry says he didn't swing. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Ted's got a later flight.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere. 2 down, nobody on. Last half of the first inning. Mike Witt, all set to go. 3-2 pitch. Bouncing ball over the mound out near second. Backhanded by Wilfong to make the play, and it's 1-2-3. Tell you what, I'll catch you up on one of those stories when we come back. And we're going to come back. At the end of 1 inning, there is no score. It'll be Doug DeCinces, Brian Downing, and Reggie Jackson coming up for the Angels in the 2nd inning. In the 2nd for the Angels, Doug DeCinces with 82 RBIs and 20 homers, batting .267. 0 for 7 in this series, but he's not now. He is 1 for 8, single to left, first hit off Charlie Huff. And Brian Downing will be next.
Number 5.
Downing at .277. Boy, he's had a good year. 91 RBIs, 23 homers, 4 for 11. And a ball outside from Charlie Huff. Downing, the converted catcher, made himself a fine outfielder, made himself a fine hitter also. High chopper to third, grabbed by Parrish, down to second out there, and back to first for the double play. That'll bring up Reggie. This is a 136 double play turn for the Rangers.
Hey, what made this too, Larry Parrish playing over third base today, got the high chopper and really got rid of the ball in a hurry. Gave Wayne Tollison a very good throw to handle. You saw it exactly chest high and on the first base side of the bag. So Tolle able to get everything going right toward first base, and he made a strong pivot.
Reggie 1 for 8 in the series with a home run. 25 of those for the year, 80 RBIs, 225. Opening night here, he hit one up in the center field seats. There's a ball outside. That was not the longest home run hit here, though. Dave Stewart just thought he threw the longest home run hit here. Breaking ball. Knuckler jumping inside and low. That is 2 balls and a strike. My partner has the distinction of serving up the longest home run.
No, that wasn't the longest one hit here.
Yes, it was. I checked. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Fly ball to center field. This should be fairly easy for George Wright. And it is, and it's all over for the Angels in the second. No runs a hit, nobody stranded. We'll go to the last half of the second inning. It's the Angels nothing and the Rangers nothing. Larry Parrish, Pete O'Brien, and George Wright coming up for the Rangers. Larry Parrish leading off, and the first pitch is down low for ball 1. LP with his greatest RBI year, 101 ribbies, 22 homers, hitting at 287. Had a one-hopper hit to short where it's played by Schofield, and he's out at first. So 1 gone, that'll bring up O'Brien. Yeah, Steve gave up the longest home run ever here, and he also gave the longest home run ever hit in Fenway Park to Jim Rice. And Guillermo Miranda got him for the longest home run ever hit in Baltimore.
Who?
Guillermo Miranda, better known as Willie Miranda.
Willie Miranda, yeah.
One of the best banjo players in baseball, or hitters maybe it was. There's a foul ball off the bat of Pete O'Brien. You just saw what OB has done this season and in the series.
Banjo hitter.
Well, that's what they call him, isn't it?
Yeah, that was Belanger.
Oh, he also hit one of the longest ever off you.
He did. He got me in Baltimore.
0-1 pitch, low outside the ball, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Mike Witt on the mound.
That's embarrassing. Mark Belanger.
I know it. I try to, when people remind me of that, I try to tell them I don't know you. There's a fly ball to left center. Lynn is over there for the out and 2 down.
How about Ken Berry?
Ken Berry, I know very well from Topeka, Kansas.
Yeah.
He got you too, huh?
Yeah. He and that 28-inch bat he used to use weighed about 16 ounces.
Well, the reason it weighed so little, it was all cork. George Wright at 245, 9 homers, 48 RBIs. Good second half for George. Miserable first half. Get him off to a good start next year. Hot series, 5 for 11. And Witt starts him out with a strike around the knees. I'm never going to get that story told about
Elmer Vallow.
Yeah, Elmer Vallow, and nobody cares really. I don't think, except Elmer Vallow doesn't care. I know that. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it's 0-2. I should have told that story about July, huh? On a hot night when everybody was stepping back to get an extra breath, and the game lasted about 4 hours.
You can tell it now. That's all right.
I can't. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Strike 3. See, that's what I mean. The innings are going quickly. I'll tell you what, folks. I'll tell you that story in the 3rd inning while Steve's on the air with the play-by-play. At the end of 2 now, it's the Angels nothing and the Rangers nothing, with Mike Brown, Bob Boone, and Dick Schofield coming up for the California Angels, managed by Johnny Mack. Now as we go to the 3rd, here's the man who turned down an invitation to pitch in an old-timers game last year. And I'm looking at him right now. But I'll tell you what, we'll get him in an old-timers game next year. Here's Steve Busby.
Thank you, Merle. And here's Mike Brown to start things off in the 3rd inning. Scoreless ball game. And why get on me all the time? That's, gee, many Christmas. Oh, well, I guess I deserve it for something.
Yeah, we're going to get you the Old Timers Hall of Fame, too. You're eligible for that next year. You had a birthday yesterday.
One of several I've had, yes. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Brown lost a fly ball right center field. Pretty long run for George Wright. A real long run. He and Tommy Dunbar are not going to catch up with it. Brown not stopping at second base. And the relay throw will not be made by Wayne Tollison. So a leadoff triple by Mike Brown, and a little miscommunication out there in right center field. George Wright and Tommy Dunbar. Ball falling right in between them for a triple.
Tommy was giving George some Morse code, and George was answering with semaphore, I guess. They just got fouled up on this thing. So after a long, long run, George Wright takes a look at Dunbar, and Dunbar looked over at George. You saw George look at Tommy, but you didn't see Tommy look at George, but he did.
I got it, you take it.
Yep.
So Brown, the leadoff triple. He is at third base for Bob Boone. He takes a strike. Bob has had a good series. He is 4 out of 6. Mike Brown, by the way, now 5 out of 14. Infield in, the ground ball. Wilkerson to his left. He will keep Brown at third base and throw Boone out. So one gone. You know, Doug Rader trying to give Charlie Huff every opportunity here to win his 17th ball game. Had the infield pulled up in the third inning with a man on third and nobody out, and it paid off on the first pitch. Should say first play. And Dick Schofield now will be the hitter. Schofield 2 out of 9 in the series, hitting at 193. Charlie working from the stretch and throws a strike. Well, the pressure really on Donnie Scott now in this situation. It's not the easiest thing in the world. Try and keep that knuckleball in front of you. 1-1. Up to Schofield, popped him up. Wilkerson backing toward the outfield grass, about 3 steps short of it. So Charlie Huff has gotten the 2 big outs that he wanted, and now he can go after Rob Wilfong. The infield will go back with 2 outs. And Brown still at third base. Yeah, boy, Charlie.
Is it true that Dean Chance also took you downtown?
No, he did not. He never played against Dean Chance.
Sure?
Yep. Right back to Huff, and he's going to get out of it. Oh, a great job of pitching by Charlie Huff. A leadoff triple, and then a ground out, a pop out, and a ball right back to Huff, and Charlie's out of things. So no runs, a hit. The leadoff triple, Brown stranded at third base, will go to the bottom of the third, a scoreless tie. And the Rangers at home right now. Tommy Dunbar to start things off in the third inning. Mike Witt has retired the first 6 Rangers he has faced. He has struck out a couple, and Tommy Dunbar, making his first appearance in the series, takes strike 1. Tommy, the American Association batting champion this year. He won it by, let's see, 1/100th of a percentage point. Big breaking ball, and it's 0-2.
How'd you calculate that?
I read it.
Oh.
I couldn't calculate that. Mike Witt going after win number 15 on the year. This big right-hander has really established himself in the Major League ranks, and that's one of the reasons that people consider him a very bright star of the future. That big curveball plus a 90-mile-an-hour plus fastball. That's the third strikeout of the day for Witt. It'll bring up Donnie Scott. Hey, as hard as Witt throws, when he gets that breaking ball over, he is almost unhittable. That's about as close as you're going to see to being unhittable.
Do you remember Yule Blackwell?
No. If I did, if I said I did, I would be dating myself.
Yeah. Well, this guy reminds me a little bit of Blackwell, although Blackwell was a sidearm buggy whip type pitcher, but he's got about the same build, long and lean, and Blackwell threw very hard, had a great breaking ball. But I always worry about guys like this having arm trouble later on, especially, well, he's more of an up and over 3/4 arm. Blackwell is a side armor and had that unnatural delivery and that snap, and finally he went out. But I always worry about these guys. Put a little meat on this guy.
1-2 pitch, yeah, the big breaking ball there, and that's a 4th strikeout for Witt. Boy, he has just overmatched both Tommy Dunbar and Donnie Scott here in the third.
Well, that thing, the bottom really fell out of it. A drop. You remember that, don't you?
That's right.
I knew it.
I remember hearing about it. Number 9 slot in the Ranger order, Curtis Wilkerson. Ball 1. Curtis 2 out of 10 in the series.
Dean Chance is on the phone, wants to speak to you.
Mm-hmm.
About the home run he hit off you.
There's a fastball in and over. 1-1.
Dean Chance had to be the worst hitting pitcher that I have ever seen. 0 for life.
Yeah, and he had a long career.
Yes.
Well, he and Sandy Koufax.
Yeah, Sandy wasn't a Jim with a bat either.
But boy, they could sure pitch. 1-2 offering on the way, and Curtis checking his swing. It'll be 2-2.
At Koufax, one thing I remember about him, it looked like he was throwing with so little effort, and the ball would just blast in there on you.
Round ball, high chopper. Schofield to his left. He has to make a quick throw, and good job by Skynders to stay on the bag. So another 1-2-3 inning. That's 9 straight set down by Witt. We have finished 3 innings very quickly here at Arlington Stadium. The Angels nothing and the Rangers nothing. Well, we've talked about Jim Birdsong, the engineer for the Ranger radio crew, retiring today. And also another man seeing his last ball game as a member of the Ranger organization, Bert Hawkins, Director of Public Relations, retiring after 47 years of covering Major League Baseball, both as a sports writer and a public relations man. He started back with the old Washington Senators. They moved to Minneapolis, and he with the new Washington Senators before they moved to Texas as the Ranger organization. We certainly pass our best wishes along to those fine men. They've been in the game a long time. Darryl Sconyers starting things off. Sconyers a strikeout victim back in the first inning. He's leading things off in the fourth, a 0-0 ball game. Charlie Huff has allowed 2 base hits, no runs. Mike Witt has retired all 9 Rangers that he has faced.
Bert is also, or the Rangers are also losing Bert's assistant, Tanya Turner.
Soon to be Tanya Dale.
Yeah. Tatiana. Yep. Tanya's going to desert baseball for the life of a married gal to Lonnie Dale, who's a well-known TV producer and director. And raconteur.
And who?
A rackets guy.
2-2, the count to Sconyers. Got him swinging to that bat. Yeah, sailing over the Ranger dugout, almost reached the stands. Sconyers going to have to put a nail in that thing to hang on to it.
It's too bad we're not in Minnesota. They'd measure the distance on this thrown bat. They measure all the home runs. This one looks to be about 103 feet down the first base line, down past the corner of the dugout.
That's pretty good distance on that throw.
Not too bad.
That was wind aided, though. Well, the wind's not. That's probably under the legal limit. Freddie Lynn grounded out to Wayne Tollison his first time up. Freddie will be happy to rid himself of Ranger pitching this year. There's his first base hit of the year, and I jinxed him. Sorry, Charlie. Freddie Lynn now 1 for 29 on the year against the Rangers pitching. He wants the ball.
The way he has gone this year, it would have been his luck to have had the umpire say, "Come on back, I'd call time."
Yeah, that's just about right. So the third hit of the afternoon off Charlie Huff. 1 out, Lynn at first, then Doug DeSense, who has one of those 3 hits, will be the hitter. DeSense led the second inning off with a single to left field. So Doug 1 out of 8 in the series. Doug, 20 home runs, 82 RBIs, hitting at .268. And that ball all the way by Donnie Scott back to the backstop and down to second base will go Lynn, a wide turn. But he's going to hang on there as Donnie able to retrieve it fairly quickly and hold Lynn at second base. A wild pitch. Kind of tough to handle that one.
Oh, boy.
12 games over 500, Charlie Huff, in his career. And you have to remember most of those spent with the Los Angeles Dodgers as a relief pitcher. 2-0 now the count to Doug DeSense. Freddie Lynn, a 1-out single, advanced to second on the wild pitch. Getting his lead, and Huff's delivery sharply hit right at Wilkerson. Kind of a tricky hop, but Curtis fielding it easily. On to first, there are 2 outs. Pretty good anticipation that time by Wilkerson. He laid back and it looked like he was waiting for the bad hop. He was very relaxed and had that glove down, came up at the last minute. Pretty good lesson for you young infielders.
Also saw the strength of his arm in that throw to first.
Ryan Downing takes ball one downstairs.
He, as you said, had to play it the way it was bouncing. He didn't circle the wagons, that's for sure.
Downing grounded into a 5-4-3 double play in the second inning.
In other words, he had no momentum.
2-1.
Going toward first.
That's right. A little flat-footed throw over there. It's going to be interesting to see in 1985 what Doug Rader decides to do with Curtis Wilkerson, Jeff Kunkel, and who's going to open up at shortstop. I would have to guess that Wilkerson will get the opportunity first. LP, the off-balance throw. Attaboy, Larry. Nothing to it. Once you play third base as long as Larry has, you never forget how. Just side retired for the Angels. No runs a hit. They strand one. After 3.5, the Angels nothing, the Rangers nothing. Bottom of the fourth inning, top of the Ranger order. Mickey Rivers, a strikeout victim back in the first inning. Leads things off in a chopper down toward first. Sconiers will flip over to big Mike Witt covering. One gone. I'll say this, nobody's wasting any time going up there with the bats. They're flailing away at the first strike they see.
They just don't want me to tell that Elmer Vallow story.
Go ahead. Let's hear it. As Wayne Tolleson comes up, what's the rest of the Elmer Vallow story the last day of the season?
Well, Boudreau, who's managing the old Kansas City A's, had a meeting. Says if anybody tries to get thrown out of the game early today just to catch an early plane or train, it's going to be a $100 fine. And golly, what was that umpire's name? I can see him now. But anyway, Boudreau went to the home plate umpire, and Bill Summers, the plate umpire, he had a very nice gentleman, big red face, chunky guy, and if you called him Applehead, you were gone. I mean, that's all it took. So Boudreau went out and saw Summers before the ball game, and he said, "Hey, do me a favor, will you?" He said, "I want to have a little fun today." So he said, when Vallow comes up, he had heard that Vallow could catch an early plane to get back to Philadelphia, and he happened to be going by a little card game in a clubhouse. The guys are talking about what time they're going to leave, and Vallow says, "Boy, if we had a fast game, I could catch a so-and-so flight." So Boudreau went to Vallow, and he said, I'd like to let you off early today, but I just can't. You know, it wouldn't be good for the game. But he said, "I understand." And Vallow said, "Well, that's okay. I won't get home about 2 in the morning." But Boudreau said, "I wish I could help you, but I can't." Bouncer to short, and Schofield throws Tolleson out. Then he goes to the plate umpire, Bill Summers, and he says, "Hey, I want to have a little fun today. I want to get Vallow out of here so he can catch an early flight." He said, "I want to yell something at you and throw him out of the game, will you?" And so Bill said, "I got you." So about the 5th inning, Boudreau yelled out of the dugout, "Hey, Applehead." And with that, Summers ripped off the mask. He said, "Vallow, get out of here." Vallow was up the other end of the dugout. He said, "What?" And Summers comes charging over and said, "Get out of here." He said, "I didn't say a word." He said, "Get out of here."
Gary Ward, a fly ball, shallow right field. Mike Brown coming on, and Mike Witt has retired all 12 that he has faced in this ball game. Well,
I told you I wouldn't have time to tell it.
Yeah, you did.
That's not all of it.
After 4, Angels nothing, Rangers nothing.
I got to give you the punchline.
Okay, what's the punchline?
Well, Summers goes to the dugout and said, "Vallow, get out of here." He said, "I didn't say a word." He said, "Get out of here." So Elmer, he's packing up his glove and everything. He's really feeling badly. And besides, he's going to get fined $100 for getting thrown out of the game. So as Vallow walked across behind home plate to go through the White Sox dugout to go up to the visitors' dressing room, which is the way it used to be, Bill Summers turned around and shook hands with him and said, "Have a nice winter, Elmer." He said, "Nice winter? You just cost me $100.
All set to go to the 5th with Reggie Jackson. To tell you about it, here's the great storyteller, Merle Harmon.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not easy for me to say either.
Yes. Reggie, a 1-ball, no strike count, and a bouncing ball down to first will be played by Pete O'Brien, who takes the play unassisted, and 1 out of the 5th. Pete O'Brien. So Vallow waited about 2 months expecting to get the notice of the fine. He never did get it, of course.
No, I was there.
Some guys will do almost anything to get away early on the last day of a season. Mike Brown had a fly ball triple in the 3rd, a ball that fell between George Wright and Tommy Dunbar. Angels have 3 hits, and the Rangers have none in this game, and we're now in the top of the 5th inning. What did it take, 38 minutes to play the first 4 innings?
Yeah, it kind of slowed down there. Somebody took 2 pitches, and they'll probably get fined, too.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. Ball outside. You know something, though, Buzz? Some of the best baseball I have seen has been played by teams that are out of the pennant race in September, because they're not standing around. They're moving, and they're going after first and second pitches, and the game gets crisp, and everybody gets into the act. The pitchers are working quickly. The infielders are alert. Show me a pitcher that stands around, I'll show you defensive players are standing on their heels.
It used to be called a salary drive, but with the long-term contracts, it's not that way anymore.
Ball up high, and Brown is on, so he is aboard for the second time. That is walk number 1. Given up by Charlie Huff, and he will now face Bob Boone, the catcher. Charlie did a great job in that 3rd inning. When Brown got on with a fly ball triple that should have been caught, runner at 3rd, nobody out, he retired the next 3 men and left the runner stranded. Boone takes the ball inside and low, and it's 1 ball to no strikes. Preston Gomez way down the line. Come on in and see the game, Preston. He's giving signs to Bob Boone, the runner at first, and the runner goes, a hit and run on. Ball hit down the right field line and bouncing into the bullpen. Foul away from Tommy Dunbar. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Looks like Preston Gomez is trying to get away early. He's halfway down toward the bullpen, ready to head for that runway that goes into the clubhouse. They can't even see the signs there from there, Preston. What a nice man, though, huh? 1 ball and 1 strike. Time called. Now we have a little conference with Larry Parrish and Charlie Huff, and what's going on here? Bill Ziegler, the trainer, coming out. Something happened to Charlie?
Looked like LP got something in his eye.
I thought LP was, yeah, he's got the contacts in today. I thought LP was calling attention to something was wrong with Charlie, and it was just the reverse. Put a water hose on it. That'll get that dirt out of there. Well, Doug Rader has really developed a tremendous admiration for Parrish, who will play under adversity of any kind. He could have a cinder in one of those contacts and he'd play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Just a reminder. Mike Brown, the base runner, 1 out, no score in the top of the 5th inning. Fly ball hit to right. Coming up is Dunbar, and there are 2 down. So Tommy Dunbar getting the call in right field today. Gets out number 2 of the inning. Tommy was the American League batting champion at Oklahoma City this year. American Association, beg your pardon. Boy, if he's the American League batting champion, then everybody's going to be happy around here. Dick Schofield, 0 for 1, popped up his last time up, taking a ball down low, and it's 1-0. Little Ducky, his dad was Ducky Schofield, who signed with the Cardinals at the age of 18. He was one of those bonus guys that got over $4,000, and he had to sit in the dugout for 2 years before he could be sent out. 1-0 pitch. Foul down the right field line, back into the stands. That rule, without a doubt, hurt more young ball players than any other rule that's ever been put on the books in baseball. There were a few who escaped it, like Al Kaline. Runner back at first base. Kaline the Tigers weren't very good when Kaline was a rookie, and near the end of the season they played him a little bit, played him a little more from time to time next year. Pretty close over there that time. Now give him your good move, Charlie. But halfway through the second season, they were playing Kaline because they weren't going anywhere. By the end of the year, Kaline was ready. And the next year, I think he won the American League batting championship. The youngest ever to do it, like at 20 years old. 1 ball and 1 strike. Knuckler pounded on the ground to the shortstop. Wilkerson, short play at second on the force out. Tollison covering there, and Brown is forced at second. And the Angels are done in the top of the fifth. So they leave one man aboard, and we'll go to the last half of the fifth inning. It's the Angels nothing and the Rangers nothing. Larry Parrish leading off. And a foul tip for strike one. I should have recognized Sean with that beard that he's growing, though. No balls, one strike. Parrish, 22 home runs, 101 RBIs. Got a ball high and inside from Mike Witt, who has not permitted a base runner, period. He has retired the first 12 that he has faced. 1-1 to Parrish. Chopper hit to third, charged by DeCinces. Barehand pickup off a bad hop and a nice play by DeCinces. They're going to throw him out of the third baseman's union for doing that to his counterpart today. That ball skipped to his right. That's high to hand contact. That's pretty good. One out. Here's O'Brien, who flied to center in the second inning. Foul ball, out of play, third base side. Strike one. Boy, what a gorgeous day to wrap up the season. Beautiful out here this afternoon. No balls, a strike. 63 degrees. Bright sunshine. An absolutely gorgeous fall day. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Bouncer to second. Wilfong on to first base to Sconyers. So Witt is still perfect. George Wright struck out of the second inning. He is now 5 for 12 in the series. Well, Dwight Evans of the Red Sox is going to wind up leading the American League in runs scored. Eddie Murray will be the base on balls champion. He'll also be the top game-winning RBI man in the American League, strike one. Mike Boddicker of Baltimore, 20 wins. Tony Armas of Boston, 43 homers. He'll be the home run champion. Dan Quisenberry way out front with saves with 44. Strike two. Dan Quisenberry leading Kansas City into the playoffs against Detroit starting Tuesday. Ricky Henderson of Oakland will be the stolen base champ with 66, and Harold Baines the slugging champ percentage-wise at 545. A little bit low. And Doyle Alexander has the best winning percentage of American League pitchers, 773. And Cleveland has a 5-run lead over Minnesota in the 8th inning as we look at some scores. Bert Blyleven going for a big win today. Drill foul down the right field line. If Blyleven wins that game, it'll be his 19th of the year. So he'll be 19-7.
Well, he has had quite a year, hasn't he?
Yeah, you know, he really has. And I guess he goes to free agency, doesn't he? There's a foul ball out of play, third base side.
I believe his contract is finished the end this year, yeah.
Batting leaders, the race is still on, but it's going to take a perfect day by Mattingly and an off day by Winfield to make a change there. Buddy Bell will finish in the top 5. Little popper outside of third, near the dugout. Bob Boone is over, and it's right up over our camera well. Okay, look out down there. Now that's the shot from our camera in that well.
Close-up personal view of Bob Boone.
Who's down there today? Oh, that's Mike Wall down there. With his cap up over the viewfinder. That could be a gangster down there posing as a cameraman. Strike three.
It is.
Oh, what did Mike ever do to you? 3 up and 3 down. 5 perfect innings for Mike Witt. And at the end of 5, it's the Angels nothing and the Rangers nothing. Well, they're the two most important members of our telecast booth. Not the guys with the headsets. Well, not the guys in the shirts. You know, here. That's Palmer Moynihan, who is our lead camera, and Pam Bell, our production stage manager. It's really been a delight to be with them in our little confines here. Now let's go to the quiz answer. Who was the only California player to lead the American League in batting average? The next Ranger? Who?
Johnson.
Alex Johnson. 329. In the top of the 6th inning, leading off is Rob Wilfong, and it's strike one from Charlie Huff. No score in this game. Wilfong, ground ball to first O'Brien. And the beat goes on. One out. Daryl Sconyers is next. We got a great crew at HSE. Telefax. We can say that now because we don't have to.
This is it.
Yeah.
They can say whatever they want to about us, too.
There's a ball low outside to Sconyers, who has fanned twice. It's like seriously though, it's like a family. You out here together every night or day, whichever the case might be. 2 balls and no strikes. And the next pitch is a strike around the knees. If Sarah Steinfeld is not listening, and maybe one of the neighbors is, you might go tell her that it's a day game, not a night game. There's a strike over the outside corner. When Bob left, he said, well, I've got a long day, and after the game tonight, I'll be home. So. Two balls, 2 strikes. And he is gone. As Sconyers has fanned 3 times. All right, you want to compare what Witt and Huff have done today? That's what they've done through 5 innings.
Well, that's a pretty good breakdown of a very good pitcher, Mike Witt. Of course, Charlie Huff's going to have a lot of balls because people take a lot of pitches off Charlie. So you won't have as many, as high a strike-to-ball ratio as a guy like Mike Witt when he is on, and he obviously is on today. 5 perfect innings already.
Freddie Lynn, and it is a strike, and it's 0-2. Lynn has grounded out and singled to center. Freddie Lynn with an 0.34 batting average this year against Texas. And a ball outside. He got his first hit against the Rangers. He was 0 for 5 in the series, had no hits at all this season, then singled to center in the 4th inning. That's a ball inside. But it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, that kills any interest the Rangers might have had in him.
Uh-huh. Sure it does.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Lynn. Foul back. Pretty good rip.
Bears ended up out of bounds at the 1-yard line.
2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 down. The Angels are batting in the front half of the 6th inning, and there's no score. Knuckleball staying way outside. Ball 3 in strike 2. And the payoff pitch. Fastball fouled away. 3-2. Freddie Lynn in 1974 or 5 was 1975 the MVP and Rookie of the Year with the Boston Red Sox. Bullpen dugout down there. Guys out enjoying the sun. 3-2 pitch. Fastball just missed outside, and Lynn is on. So that's the second walk off Charlie Huff, and up comes Doug DeCinces, who's 1 for 2. He had a single in the 2nd, and he grounded out of the 4th. And the runner going out at 2nd. That'll do it. So Lynn is cut down on a perfect throw by Donnie Scott. So it's no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. We'll go to the last half of the 6th inning, and it's still a scoreless ball game.
Hitting off for the Rangers, number 13.
Tommy Dunbar is up first at the bottom of the 6th. He struck out in the 3rd, and Mr. Witt is perfect for 5 innings. Breaking ball, fouled off, strike 1. The Cleveland Indians swept the Twins. They knocked the Twins out of the Western Division race and then went on to sweep that series. Strike around the knees. And I believe now that Cleveland has won the season series. And the Twins have not won a season series from the Indians since 1977. Mike Witt, the 0-2 pitch, bounced on the ground to the short second baseman, and Wilfong throws him out at first. And that is 16 in a row that Witt has cut down to start this ball game. Donnie Scott, the switch-hitting catcher, is next. He struck out of the 3rd. Witt is fanned 5. Breaking ball, foul back. Boy, that curveball is really something today. It's really biting those left-handed batters. No balls, 1 strike. Strike 2.
That is about as good a breaking ball as you're going to see. If there's one better, it wouldn't be allowed.
Another one. So Scott is gone. He is number 6 to go down on strikes. Curtis Wilkerson is next. He grounded out in the 3rd. No score in this game. 3 hits, and they all belong to the Angels. There it is up on the board. Mike Witt's got a no-hitter through 5 2/3. At the knees, strike 1. Backed him out of there. 1 ball and 1 strike. Oh, another wicked breaking ball. I see Curtis is wearing a shin guard on the right leg. If I were batting against this guy, and we're a left-handed batter rather, I'd be doing the same thing today, I believe.
Wear one on both legs.
Wouldn't hurt. 1-2 pitch, bounced on the ground. Second baseman Wilfong, nice play. The ball took a bad hop in the last skip, stayed down, but Wilfong right with it. And so Mike Witt is perfect for 6 innings. No runs, no hits, no errors, no nothing. At the end of 6, no score. California will have DeSensei leading off in the 7th. 7th inning, here's Steve.
Thank you, Merle. There's Doug DeSensei, who took strike 1. That's the line score. Boy, nothing going for anybody. The Angels with 3 base hits, and the Rangers had not had a base runner. Doug DeSensei was left at the plate as Freddie Lynn was shot down trying to steal by Donnie Scott to end things in the 6th inning. DeSensei 1 out of 2 this afternoon. He singled in the 2nd and grounded to short in the 4th inning. So Doug 1 out of 9 in the series, hitting at .267, and he takes inside 2-1.
This game may be won with 1 swing of the bat.
Well, the Angels have played that kind of baseball all year long. 150 home runs by this club. That's going to be a base hit to center field. Hit number 4 for the Angels, and a leadoff job here by Doug DeSensei. Carbon copy of his base hit in the 2nd to lead things off. Well, Brian Downing, the hitter. Downing has grounded out twice, once into a double play. Both times to Larry Parrish playing 3rd base. Downing, the team leader in RBIs with 91 on the year. Had a home run in last night's ball game. Reggie Jackson, the on-deck hitter. Ball 1. Charlie Huff trying again to win number 17 on the year. He has walked 2, struck out 3 so far. Misses away, and now DeSensei gone as Donnie Scott seeing that ball go by him. He throws it into center field where it's backed up by Wilkerson. Good job by Curtis getting back there, and DeSensei down at second base. We'll see how they score that play.
Donnie was going to make a throw to first, and I don't know what happened to him, as he went into that glove for the ball. Watch this. Now, see? He's going to make a throw to first, except the ball's not there.
DeSensei can't figure out which way to go. No, try second. Okay. Donnie had the ejector working. So DeSensei at second base, nobody out. And a count of 2 balls and no strikes to Brian Downing. 3-0.
I think that would almost have to be an error. What else could they call it?
They call it a pass ball.
Reggie, you catch it, it'll go a long way.
Which, in scoring, it's the same thing as far as being a run earned or unearned. 3-0 pitch right down through there. 3-1.
I mean, you know, if the ball comes out of his glove, if he's not in the act of throwing or anything like that, I don't know. That's pass ball would have to cover it, but I guess it doesn't make any difference anyway, does it?
Not as far as the earned or unearned part. That's going to get DeSensei over to third. Downing gets the job done. Talley throws him out. So Doug will advance to third base. He'll be there with 1 out for Reggie Jackson.
Let's go, Reg!
Reggie 0 for 2 this afternoon. Fly to center and grounded to Pete O'Brien. Well, Mr. October on the last day of September. See how things fare for him.
Let's go, Reg! Come on, Reggie, man.
503 career home runs. Charlie will work from the stretch. Sharply hit ball. Nice play by O'Brien. He's coming to the plate. They don't get him. Oh, an outstanding play by Pete O'Brien, but a good break from third base by Doug DeSensei, and that's what made the play. O'Brien made a good throw. Even though Donnie Scott not able to hang on to the ball, DeSensei was safe.
Yeah, a real good play by O'Brien. He knew exactly what he was going to do with the ball. DeSensei would have been safe even if Donnie had been able to hold on to it, but a good effort by Pete O'Brien.
So Jackson on first by the fielder's choice gets his 81st RBI of the year. It's a 1-0 Angel lead now. Well, Pete getting rid of that ball very quickly. Made a good strong throw, but DeSensei with the good break. And there's a base hit down the left field line by Mike Brown. And a fan coming out onto the field.
The Angels are going to appeal that they should get the run because they're going to appeal that Jackson would have scored had the ball gone in the corner. That fan is going to say goodnight, I believe.
Yep.
They haven't gone out there yet, but no, the plate umpire says Jackson has to stay at third. Johnny Mack, the manager of the California Angels, appealing the play, and those fans down the left field line already know where they're going as security comes down. Ah, that's tough. That he even loses the ball. Don't go on the field. That I can't buy that. Hey, souvenirs are souvenirs, but stay off the cotton picking field.
Come on, Raider, come on.
I mean, what if this were a potential playoff berth game?
I don't know what to tell you. I agree with you. Now, it's unfortunate. That does happen from time to time, and it did cost the Angels a run. I have no doubt that Jackson would have scored. Boone, the hitter, he fouls the first pitch off. So Mike Brown credited with a double. Reggie Jackson stopping at third base. That is, in case you're wondering, it's up to the umpires in that situation. That is not a ground rule double. That is fan interference. It's up to the umpire's discretion where the runner would have gone had there not been interference. On a ground rule double, you are awarded 2 bases, period. But they could have said Reggie Jackson would have scored from first base on the double. They decided that he would not have. So they had him stop at third, second and third with just 1 out and a 1-2 count now to Bob Boone.
I don't think they were watching the game very closely.
No, I think Reggie would have scored
I do too.
with no contest. The 1-2, 1 out, 2 on. And Charlie Huff delivers. Boone chops a foul, still 1-2.
And it's not a matter of whether it's a break for the Rangers or not. It's a situation where that stuff is just doesn't belong in a ballpark.
Huff again, the 1-2 delivery, chopped to third. Parrish will come to the plate. They have a play on Jackson, and he is out easily, 5-3. Reggie trying to score on that little chopper that LP took care of. Figure Lightning might strike twice in one inning. It does not.
Right on the button, and Scott, all he has to do is wait on Reggie.
Ball almost coming out of that big glove that Donnie Scott's using. That's where, if you're a catcher, you really want to get that ball in your bare hand and have it protected by the glove. You saw Donnie had the ball in his glove and was not in his bare hand. You get a much better grip on it if you can grab it with your bare hand and protect it with the glove.
Shoot one to right field. Sure.
So Boone reaches on the fielder's choice. That puts runners at first and third with 2 outs now for Dick Schofield. Ball 1. Runner over at third base, Mike Brown. And over at first, Bob Boone. Schofield 0 for 2 this afternoon, and Charlie Huff will remind Bob Boone that he has not forgotten about him at first.
Try.
1 run on 5 hits for the Angels, no runs on no hits for the Rangers. We're in the top of the 7th inning. Huff's delivery, swinging strike 1. It's even now, at a ball and a strike. Schofield hitting at 191 on the year. He has 4 home runs, 21 RBIs. That is the story as we play with 2 outs in the 7th. 2-1. Things started in the 7th for the Angels. DeSensei singled to center field, went to second on a pass ball, advanced to third on the ground out by Downing. And he scored on the fielder's choice ground ball by Reggie Jackson. And Mike Brown had the fan interference double. Jackson was erased at the plate as Bob Boone reached on the fielder's choice. And now the bases are full as Schofield works Charlie Huff for a walk. That's the 3rd walk issued by Huff this afternoon. And it will take the Angels back to the top of their order, and Rob Wilfong, who is 0 for 3. So 3 walks, 3 strikeouts for Huff. And 1 run and 5 base hits. Wilfong 0 for 3. 3 ground balls. Ball 1. Wilfong playing second base tonight, or this afternoon, in place of Bobby Grich. Right back to Huff, and that should do things. On to O'Brien, side retired, but the Angels come up with a run on 2 hits, and they strand 3. The RBI to Reggie Jackson. The run scored by DeSensei will go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. California on top of Texas by a score of 1-0.
What are you looking at, Reggie?
Reggie's styling. He's having a good time. That was on the fan interference double by Mike Brown. Reggie started from first, and he was circling the
wagons.
The bases as he came around third. Mike Witt working on a perfect ball game as he throws a strike to Mickey Rivers. Witt has retired all 18 Rangers he has faced. He has walked no one, and he has struck out 6. Mickey Rivers, a strikeout and a ground out. 1-1. So not only is Mike Witt trying to win number 15, he is trying to put his name in the record books. 1-2.
Isn't that a Olajuwon story, a remarkable story, though? 3 years in basketball and multi-million-dollar contract. He really hadn't played basketball as such, I guess, till he came to Houston. Guy Lewis taught him everything.
Great soccer player.
Yeah. I wonder if he ever kicked one. Oh, yeah, we got the quiz, right?
The only pitcher on the current Angels roster with a no-hitter.
We're coming up with all kinds of deals today.
Strike 3. So Mickey called out on strikes. That is the 19th consecutive and the 7th strikeout for Witt.
Big breaking ball again. That one might have been out of the strike zone, but it looked pretty.
Yeah, I thought Greg Koss called him out looking. It was not. He said he swung at the ball. So one gone in the 7th inning, and now Wayne Tollison, the hitter. Tally, a fly ball and ground out to shortstop this afternoon. That fastball heats it up upstairs, 1-0.
Drag bunt.
Oh, no. 2-0. You get somebody hurt that way. Not in the 7th inning, maybe in the 3rd or 4th. Ooh.
Got to try to win the game. It's only 1-0.
Uh-huh.
If it were 5-0, it'd be different.
The last day of the season, guy pitching a perfect game? No. Sorry. If you do that and don't get it fair, it's you. And if you do and get it fair for a base hit, it's Gary Ward. So.
Well, Tolly would take him on. I mean, Mike Witt's only 6'7" or so.
Yeah. 3 balls and no strikes. So this is the farthest Witt has gone toward losing his perfect game. And he delivers a strike. It's 3-1.
Got to create a little excitement around here.
That would, yeah. Oh. The 3-1 pitch, Tollison showing bunt, and he pulls it back. He's just trying to break the concentration of Mike Witt. 3-2.
Witt knows he's got it now, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That fastball.
Yep.
Right down the middle. I mean, he knows what he's working on. Not that he's got it. He's got a long way to go.
He's known from the 5th inning.
Yeah.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Mike Witt and the payoff pitch. Chopper towards second. Rob Wilfong right there. 20 in a row. So that big man working back from a 3-0 count on Wayne Tollison. That may be the thing that turns it around for him, or at least gives him the momentum, the second win to keep things going. Gary Ward 0 for 2, a ground ball and a fly ball this afternoon. Ward 5 out of 13 in this series. Hitting at 283 on the year. Big breaking ball, strike 1. Ward, 21 home runs, 79 RBIs, and a fly ball, twisting foul and out of play down the right field line. It's 0-2. And Witt got away with one there.
Yeah, I'm wishing now I'd started keeping track of how many breaking balls he's thrown in this game.
Threw a lot more earlier than he has in the last couple of innings.
Well, he got behind Tollison. He's gone 2 breaking balls to Ward. Here's the one guy on this ball club. I shouldn't say one guy, but here's a guy that could get him, though.
0-2 pitch on the way to Ward. Ground ball to second. That's going to do things here in the 7th inning, and Mike Witt has been perfect through 7. All 21 men he has faced have gone down. 7 strikeouts. Will go to the 8th inning. It is California 1, Texas nothing. Now there's a little extra HSE quiz for you. The only pitcher on the current Angels roster with a no-hitter. And he's part of a record-setting brother combination, too. The only brother combination ever to throw no-hitters in the major leagues. Both of them. Kenny Forsch, his brother Bob, has also thrown a no-hitter with St. Louis. The only brothers to do so. We go to the 8th inning, and here's Merle Harmon.
Thank you, Steve. And Sconyers, who has struck out 3 times, is already behind 0-1. And so Charlie Huff has really had his number today. Sconyers, Lynn, and DeCinces coming up in the 8th. Bouncing ball, and after it is Tollison on to first base. Sconyers is out. 1 away. Sconyers a little bit frustrated after striking out 3 times, finally making contact and just kind of slung the ball out in front of him halfway out to the mound. Fred Lynn had his only hit against the Rangers this year in the 4th inning when he singled. 1 down, nobody on, front half of the 8th inning, 1-0 California. Lynn taking it inside. The Rangers have already won the season series. They are 7-4 against California going into the finale today. And it's 1-1 to Freddie. One ball and 1 strike. Foul out of play. Baltimore is trying to spoil Ralph Houck's final game as the Red Sox manager. Baltimore leading 5-3 in the bottom of the 8th. Red Sox might pull that thing out for him, though. Oh, you know they want to. I've never heard anybody on that Boston ball club knock him. Here's a ball down low and outside. They might not agree with him all the time, but they sure respect him. Two balls and 2 strikes. It's going to be a tough man to replace. And the 2-2 pitch drilled into left field. So Freddie Lynn on this last day of the season, hitless against the Rangers until today, is now 2 out of 3. And for California, their 6th hit of the ball game.
Classic job of hitting the knuckleball, waiting back, finally pulling the trigger at the last second, driving the ball the other way, and the Rangers were playing Lynn way around to the right. Saw how far off the line Larry Parrish was at third base, but boy, that line shot not able to be flagged down by anybody.
DeCinces has gone 2 for 3 today, and he scored the game's only run. He led off the 7th inning with a single, moved to second on a pass ball. Finally scored on a ground out. Here's a ball down low inside, actually a fielder's choice. Ground up by Downing, moved him to third, and then Jackson hit one to first. They came to the plate trying to get DeCinces and missed him. Here's a throw to first base, runner back. 1 ball to no strikes. 1-0. California were in the 8th. Ground ball to second. May get 2 out of this. And they do. So the Rangers turn their 136th double play of the season. No runs a hit and nobody left on. Bottom of the 8th coming on. Still a perfect game on the line for Mike Witt. It is 1-0 California. Bobby Grich now at first base for California. And while Mike Witt is getting ready, we'd like to tell you about our next TCU and SMU telecast on HSE. Right now we're planning on bringing you live the Horned Frogs game against the Rice Owls Saturday the 13th at 7:30. That'll give us another opportunity to watch the talents of Kenneth Davis and Tony Jeffrey along with quarterback Anthony Gully. For SMU, the next television date will be a delayed presentation against the Houston Cougars Sunday night, October 21st at 7. Of course, we'd like to be bringing you each game live, but CFA regulations don't permit that at this time. So SMU and TCU games, just a part of a mammoth schedule of games coming up in October on HSE. Larry Parrish, 0 for 2, is grounded out twice. Nobody has reached against Mike Witt, who is leading 1-0 in the bottom of the 8th. LP drills one to right center. Well hit, but Brown is back there, and he's going to make the catch. So Parrish puts the first really scare into Mike Witt's bid for a perfect game, but Brown got a good jump of the ball, ran it down near the 380 sign.
LP going out and getting that fastball. Pretty good pitch by Witt, but Parrish, of course, we've seen Larry drive the ball that way a number of times this year with power, and he sent Mike Brown back to the 380 sign.
O'Brien, after a breaking ball, he missed it. Pete is flied to center and grounded to second. Fastball fouled off, and it's no balls, 2 strikes. The last perfect game in the American League was by Lynn Barker with the Cleveland Indians, a one-time Ranger. This is what Witt has done over 7 1/3. He's thrown 73 pitches. 7 strikeouts. Otherwise, 0-0-0-0. And a ball down low. Prior to Barker's perfect game, Catfish Hunter pitched one against the Minnesota Twins back in 1968 in May. And I happened to do that game. Here's a strike at the knees. O'Brien is punched out. That's 8 strikeouts for Witt.
Now Pete going in. Just not much of a chance there. Not able to pull the trigger. Ball coming back over the inside corner.
Two down, and the batter now is George Wright, who has fanned twice. Strike one. Wicked breaking pitch.
Keep your head on the pitch.
Perfect games by John Richmond of Worcester against Cleveland in 1880. That started it. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Outside and high ball. John Ward of Providence against Buffalo in 1880. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Down low and inside. Then names like Cy Young, Ernie Shore, Don Larson, World Series game. Jim Bunning, Sandy Koufax, Catfish Hunter, Lynn Barker. 2-1 pitch, strike two.
Right down the line. Let's go. Come on.
Jim Palmer had a shortened version of one. Dave Palmer, rather, of Montreal had a shortened version of one. That's what Witt is putting behind his pitches right now. And the 2-2 pitch. Pounded foul down the first base side, out of play. When did the first guy reach in either one of your no-hitters, you remember?
Well, the second one, I walked George Scott on a 3-2 pitch in the second inning. And that was the only base runner.
Here's the 2-2 delivery. Strike three. Fastball to the knees. And Witt cut loose with that 95-mile-an-hour fastball. And he is perfect through 8 innings. So he has 3 outs to go toward getting his name in the record book on page 1. At the end of 8, it is 1-0 California. Mike Witt goes into the top of the 9th inning with a 1-0 lead. He's sitting in that dugout, and I'm sure looking at the right field scoreboard, it's got to be on his mind now. I mean, totally on his mind about getting the perfect game. Brian Downing will lead off in the 9th inning. He is 0 for 3. Charlie Huff has given up 6 hits. Fly ball foul down the left field line, out of play. Back into the stands. Strike one. 8,375 on this final day of the season here in Arlington. No balls to strike. Downing takes that one outside. It's 1-1. There's Mike Witt. What's he thinking about? You know what he's thinking about. Fly ball to short center. George Wright, 1 out. Reggie Jackson will be next. One out. Nobody talking to Witt, as you might have noticed with that last shot we had of him. Jackson is 0 for 3, but he has the game's only RBI. That was in the 7th. 1-0 California. Foul ball back below us. That is strike one to Reggie.
Okay, be patient, Reggie. Set back for it.
One gone in the 9th.
Come on, Reggie, be patient. Quick bat.
The knuckleball jumps outside. 1-1 to Jackson. Mike Brown to be next. Fly ball, short center field. George Wright coming up. And there are 2 down. Mike Brown is next. If you're looking to the bottom of the 9th inning, the Rangers have Dunbar, Scott, and Wilkerson scheduled against Mike Witt. Mike Brown has a triple and a double, a walk, but he hasn't scored. The Knuckler's inside. Brown led off the 3rd inning with a triple and then died there as Huff came back to get the next 3 men. He walked in the 5th and doubled in the 7th. A ball outside, 2-0. Mike Witt will be out there in another minute or so, and it's 2-1. I would think that he would be very anxious to get out there. He doesn't want to sit in that dugout very long. The longer he sits there, the more thinking he does, and when he's got that ball in his hand, it's a little different. Foul ball out of play, first base side. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mike Brown hitting a .269. The Angels trying to win their 81st game of the year. If they get it, they would have played 500 ball this year. The Rangers, if they cannot come back and win it, will be 69 and 92 for the season. That's inside. It almost got it. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Boy, you know, you look at what Mike Witt has done through 8 innings. And now the center of attention, of course, is upon him. But look at the game that Charlie Huff has pitched. 3-2, drive to left field, and it will be in for a base hit. Gary Ward plays the first hop. Brown is at first with a single, and he is 3 for 3 today. And Bob Boone will be coming up next. Now we're going to get a runner. Pettis is going to run for Brown at first. Pettis, a real speedster. Gary leads the club in stolen bases. Bob Boone, 0 for 3, is up. Pettis with 48 stolen bases for the year. He's been caught 15 times. Huff keeping an eye on him. And Huff goes over there again. Pettis, the lead, draws a throw, and he gets back. Psychologically, I don't think this is helping Mike Witt in that third base dugout. The check at first, other throw over there. Boone is waiting. Pettis at first, draws a throw, and he gets back. Seven hits for the Angels, none for the Rangers. Jimmy Slayton down to the dugout. The Angels. Mike Witt right behind him. Everything's kind of quiet right now. Pitch out, nothing going. 1 ball and no strikes. Is the count to Bob Boone, with Pettis at first, running for Mike Brown. Just a little toss. One ball and no strikes. Pettis on the way. Pitch out. Donnie Scott's throw. He is out at second. Tollison covering, and Scott's throw is right on the button. No runs, a hit, and nobody left. Now we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Mike Witt has a perfect game on the line for the California Angels as he is scheduled to face Dunbar, Scott, and Wilkerson. And we'll be back with the bottom of the 9th right after this. Breaking ball, a strike, 0-1. Dunbar didn't think so. Oh, and 1 to Tommy. Strike 2. And the 2-strike pitch. Strike 3. The fans applauded Witt warmly when he went out to the mound to start the bottom of the 9th inning. And this is recognition, and even though he's a member of the opposition, it's recognition of a tremendous feat that he might accomplish. He has struck out 10. And we're going to have a pinch hitter. Bobby Jones is going to bat for Donnie Scott. So Bobby Jones coming out as a pinch hitter. John McNamara checking that lineup card. Marv Foley has also come to the on-deck circle. He would bat for Wilkerson. So Mike Witt has one out in the bottom of the ninth inning. 8 1/3 innings of perfect baseball. Strike to the outside corner. I got to give him credit. He is throwing strikes. No balls and a strike to Bobby Jones. Ground ball to second. Wilfong to first, 2 down. He is 1 out away from a perfect game, and Marv Foley will bat. Foley for Wilkerson here in the bottom of the ninth inning. The last perfect game pitched by Lynn Barker in 1981 when he was with Cleveland against Toronto. And the one before that, 1968 catfish hunter for Oakland against Minnesota. Two down. Foley the batter. Last of the ninth inning. Strike one. Now the crowd applauding on every pitch. 1-0. California, last half of the ninth inning.
Come on, move, bring him in.
Witt right back with the next pitch. A little bit low, and his battery mate Boone thought he had a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to Foley.
Cheese up, Bob.
1-0, Angels. That one's low. 2-1. 2 balls and a strike to Foley. This should be a good pitch for Foley. The outfield around to the right slightly. The infield pull to the right. 2 balls a strike. Bouncing ball to second. He's going to do it. A perfect game for Mike Witt. Mike Witt pitches a perfect game for California. And the Angels mob him. So that is the first no-hitter ever pitched in Arlington Stadium. The first perfect game pitch since Lynn Barker of Cleveland pitched a perfect game against Toronto in 1981. Catfish hunter a perfect game. Oakland against Minnesota 1968. He threw 90 pitches on the way to this perfect ball game. He struck out 10. An absolute masterpiece.